Hi, welcome to Zumar Guitar Lessons. In today's lesson, we will be changing strings on an acoustic guitar. Right, what you will need is some strings. I'm using Diodario EXP lights, which is what I use. I've been using them for quite a long time now. And I have a string winder. This just makes it easier for turning the tuning pegs. And I have a tool with some pliers with a sharp bit for cutting the strings. Right, first of all, loosen one of the strings. I always start with the lowest string and work my way up. Other people do it a different way, but this is how I do it. Just turn it anti-clockwise. Unwind the rest of it. Now the first thing I do is, instead of just pulling it out, because that can make it break over time, I try and push it through first. If that doesn't work, nope, I have to pull it out. Sometimes you can just push it through. Oh, lost it on the floor there. And put it somewhere safe, because if you lose that, you can't put the guitar back together. I wind these up because they go everywhere. These strings aren't individually wrapped. They've got colour coding to say which string's which. And on the back of these ones it says the low E, string number 6, is brass. So you can see which string you have to put in. Pop it in there, just like that, and you try and have the lines facing that way, so it's straight. Well, the lines, the little groove there. There's a little groove. I don't know if you can see that, but anyway, there's a little groove there. And then you pull it up quite tight. Now, what I like to do is put it in a guitar stand. Move it over here so you can see it a bit better. What I tend to do is pull it through. Oops. I'm rushing a little bit here. I'll relax. Pull it through. And I go between the two tuning pegs, and then I go half again more, and that's where I cut it. And I tend to cut them all the same length. You get more of the same tension across all the strings. So if you have them all different lengths, you get a little bit of different tension. And then you get your tuning winder here. And what I do is I put about 1 centimetre there, and then I start winding. And for the first wind, I have the string. This is quite awkward. I have the string above the top, going over the top, and for the next one, I wind it underneath. And I'm holding it. I'm holding it to keep some tension in it, otherwise it flops around everywhere. And then once you keep going until the tension's quite tight, and then you put it onto the nut. You can see that sometimes pings out, so you've got to push it back in again. Doing it again. These are brand new tuning pegs, I only got them recently, so they haven't got a little notch in them to keep them in the same place. I'll sit down now. Well, that was right. Check it with your tuner. And an important thing to do, if you want to play the guitar straight after tuning all your strings, is I ping them on every fret. And then it goes flat again, because it's stretching the string out to keep it in tune. That's in tune. I find when I'm playing a gig, if I break a string, if you quickly do that, it should stay in tune for just about the whole song. Quickly do another one. And I find it always pays to do one string at a time, because on some guitars, if you take all the strings off, the neck of the guitar can bend. It can bend in like this, or like that, and then you might have to get it set up again. Put the A string in. Try and pull it tight, so it doesn't slip like it did on the other one. In the guitar stand. Have it the length from there, one tuning head and a half. String winder. Remember, once over the top of the string and then underneath. Then rest it onto the nut. Still keep some tension in it. Put it stretching in. Don't do this too hard or you might break the string. If people are asleep upstairs, which I often have, I don't ping it, I just stretch it. I sort of pull it out like that. Doesn't work as well, it takes a little bit longer, but you can do it quietly then, because it can be a bit noisy doing that. Now, depending on how often you play, and strangely how acidic your sweat is, your strings may last a very long time or not very long at all. Unfortunately for me, my strings don't last very long, and I do play a lot of guitar. And especially when you're doing outdoor gigs, put your guitar back in its case when you're not using it, and your strings last longer. Or even indoor, because it's safer to have your guitar in its case. Otherwise it might get knocked over. I'll just check. It's black for the D, and on the end they have little black and green. That's the D and that's the G. Some other strings, like Elixir, they have a separate white little casing for each string, which makes it a bit easier, I think. One and a half. Right, now I turn the stand around the other way to get to this side. You have to find the way that works for you. I find if you break a string at a gig, if you've got a guitar stand, it does make it a lot easier to change it when there's lots of people watching you going, oh dear, he's broken a string. So that one I pushed straight, that one I just pushed in and it came out. But because it's a new tuning pegs and they fit very snugly, you still have to do that. And when you cut the end of the strings off, find them and don't leave them on the floor because they're quite sharp. What have we got next? We have the G string. So you can see it a bit better. Put it in there. Make sure the little line is facing that way. Don't have it on an angle. One up and a little bit, or half. Now these ones, you turn the opposite direction. I'll show you in a second. You don't want the windings to go the same way on both sides. So this one you turn anti-clockwise, the other one you turn clockwise. Cool. This side is anti-clockwise, the other side is clockwise. Right, I'm not going to stretch that one, I'm just going to quickly go on to the next one now. Otherwise the video might go forever. We're getting there. If you hold it, it doesn't fall back through the hole, which is handy. Remember, over the top to the first one and then underneath the other ones. And the last one, the high E. That one came out nicely. Whew, getting there. It's quite a warm day today. Right. Now I'm going to stretch those last 3 strings quickly so I can play a little tune maybe. Right, let's quickly get this in tune. What you'll find is when you've just changed your strings, for the first half hour or so it's quite bright, there's not quite as much warmth in the bass and stuff, so if you plug into an amp or a PA it'll sound a bit shiny, maybe a bit too bright. Some people like that, but I prefer to play the guitar for half an hour and then you can use it for a gig or playing to your friends or whatever. Right, I'll just play a little bit of blues. Oh, thank you very much. This is Zumar Guitar Lessons. If you would like to leave a donation, my PayPal address will be down the bottom there at the end of the video. If you don't, that's fine too, but please feel free to share it to your friends if you think anyone needs to learn about how to change the strings and other things I'm teaching. I will be putting more lessons up, and I hope you enjoy them. Thank you very much. Bye.